as you know, every kid loves chicken schnitzel, but if you can't have any gluten in your diet, you need to be able to have something, an alternative. So what I've got here are some rice crackers, which make a great alternative to breadcrumbs. What I'm going to do is just open these up. Have a taste of one of these, Rosie. They're delicious, aren't they?
Oh.
You can imagine just snacking on these things, so you make sure you get them all in here. Now, I've got a couple of packets in there already, and what I'm going to do is whiz them up and use that as my breadcrumbs. But what I'm going to do, instead of having it nice and simple, I'm going to show you a couple of alternatives to adding lots of flavour to a basic chicken schnitzel. But first thing we'll do, Rosie, is pop this in the top here, whiz them up till they're nice and fine and breadcrumb-like, and then we'll continue on from there.
I'm so impressed. This is an absolute food hack. I'm going to steal this.
Food hack is
I
just
love it.
an old-fashioned trick that I've been doing for years.
Love it.
Now, what we're going to do is take the top off that one there, and I'll tip some of the rice cracker breadcrumbs straight into here. Now, what I'm going to add here, just to make it even more spicy and tasty, is I've got some black sesame seeds and some white sesame seeds.
Lovely.
And that's great for giving it a nice little bit of colour.
Great.
And it's also what you would call a hack, isn't it?
It
There
is
we
a
go.
bit of a hack.
I'll move this out of the way here. Now, the other thing I'm going to get you to do, Rosie, is to crack these 3 eggs in a bowl. I've got a little bit of soy sauce, and I'll put some soy sauce in there, straight into there with the eggs.
Straight
Here we
into
go.
there, yep.
Straight into there, and with this fork here, you're going to mix them up. Getting flavour into the eggs is a great way of adding flavour to the chicken. Chicken is quite a bland product, so we need to give it some flavour. And I've also got a little bit of vinegar. You like that?
Ooh,
A little bit
yeah.
of vinegar is a great way to give it some acid. Some acid in there picks up the flavour in your mouth and makes everything tasty. So a couple of drops of that in there as well. And here's another little trick to get some flavour. I've got some rice flour, which is gluten-free.
Yep.
I'm going to go throw that straight in there. And some garlic powder, which mixes in beautifully with the rice flour. And also to give it some extra bit of flavour, I've got some curry powder, a nice little teaspoon of that. And all I'm going to do is just mix that around nice and gently till everything's incorporated.
Great.
Now, what I'm going to do is just dust my fingers off, and they'll have dust everywhere. I'm going to pop this over here, Rosie, and then we've got our flour. We're going to crumb. So chicken breast, already sliced through the middle so it's nice and thin. And what I'm going to do is pop that into the flour there. Rosie, you're going to take it from the flour once it's dusted nicely and pop it into the egg wash.
The egg.
There we go. And then we'll crumb it nicely. And you can see it looks fantastic already. It almost looks like cheese, doesn't it? So bring one of those straight across and we'll have a look at it so it doesn't look any different from normal breadcrumbs. Now, what I'm going to do, Rosie, is double dip that one in there. So pop that into there.
I thought you were going to double dip.
You know I love it.
Style,
exactly. Straight into there again. Make sure that the crumbs are all over my chicken, and I'll just show you, Rosie. It looks fantastic. It looks like a normal schnitzel, and if you smell it, it even smells a whole lot better. Now, what we're going to do is crumb these and then pop them into the oil, and while that's cooking, I'll put another little stir fry with some mushrooms and some sugar peas and some coriander and some spring onions, and we'll have a beautiful Oriental style chicken schnitzel. Now, Rosie, have a look at that. Now, if you didn't know that I used the rice crackers to make the breadcrumbs, you would have no idea, would you?
No idea. Now, of course, I could do that with eggplant being vegetarian or even zucchini.
You could, easy. And you could even use something like halloumi cheese if you wanted to do that as well. Now, make sure you turn your heat off, and I'll put a little bit of salt on it because we need everything to taste nice and tasty. I'll put a little schnitzel on the side there, and of course, some green vegetables, some mushrooms, some sugar snaps that have got a little bit of curry powder in there, and some soy sauce. It's a great little dish.
It really is.
Lime wedge on the side.
It's definitely not a quiz night $5 schnitty, is it?
No, this is classy. There we go. I'll squeeze some lime over the top to keep in with that Oriental theme. Now, I'll twist that around because you want the veggies.
Yeah, I do want the veggies, but I want to hear that crispness of that one as well.
Here, listen to that. That's a nice crackle. It's a nice crumb on the outside. The chicken's cooked beautifully, and it looks nice and crunchy.
Adults, kids, I think everyone would love that, wouldn't they?
That is really good. It's better than a takeaway food chicken chunk. What do you think?
Well, I must say, that stir-fry's got kick to it. I can taste the nutrition as well.
It's got chili and flavour to it, and it's nice and crispy on the outside of this chicken. Who said gluten-free needs to be flavour-free?